When it comes to describing Stella Wembley and her music, so many superlatives spring to mind that it would come across as sycophantic, saccharine, and quite possibly creepy. So I'll try to limit myself with the praises while still trying to capture the essence of Stella the artist. Irrespective of gender, stunning looks for musicians can help to capture people's attentions, but without true talent and great music that people want to listen to, they may as well stay in their bedrooms singing into their hairbrushes. However, Stella manages to combine beauty, alluring sex appeal in her material, along with eye and ear-catching musical talent that, in a fair and just world, would have made her a massive star to match her stellar name. With her filling stadia around the world, making Taylor Swift look like a mere semi-talented busker. Stella was born in Italy and studied performing arts and opera, singing at the Conservatoire de Musica San Pietro a Maggiore di Napoli. I'm sorry if I've ruined the Italian there for you, Stella. Before moving first to London and then to Leeds, where she has been working like someone possessed to reach out to a wider audience and to show people what she is truly capable. Hello, Stella. Thanks for letting me talk with you today, and hopefully the listeners will enjoy all that you have to say and find it enlightening.
Thank you. It's my pleasure, and thank you for the introduction. It was amazing.
Firstly, tell us more about the real Stella. You have a distinct style and an appearance that is certainly eye-catching and memorable, but how much of that look is really you, and how much is a character to add to the concerts?
As I always said in my interviews, my songs are autobiographical, so everything that I write is based on personal experience, is based on the facts and experiences basically that I had in my life. So everything that I write is real, it really describes the real me. And regarding the style, which is very gothic and dark, yes, it is part of who I am. Even when I dress up, when I direct music videos, I always want to have a music video that reflects the song, basically. And the vision that I have, it's not just about the music, it's also about images. So I really want to have images and music reflecting basically what I write. But it is true that there are parts of myself that I didn't reveal, to the public. And I really like to keep them, to keep things, private. And I enjoy my privacy. Nowadays, we have so many information on the social media that can be really misleading. And also it can be overwhelming for an artist to share all the information and to share everything on the social media. And I also think that it's important to keep things separate, so have my private life and then have the life as a musician as much as possible. And I also think that I want to share parts of myself with the public, that I haven't shared before. So even when I write songs, and I write songs about my personal experiences, of course, people want to know. And so I am prepared, to answer to those questions. But I think that even though I want to show some vulnerability, there are people out there that are not my friends, there are my enemies, and they can use my weaknesses against me. And so I think it's very smart just to keep the mystery. What do you think?
Very wise, because there are some nasty people online, and the only way they can get their kicks is by being nasty and vindictive and vicious to people. And you do need to have your own private life that they can't have a go at.
Yeah, not everyone, is friendly. Not everyone has the best intentions.
What was it like growing up in Italy? What is the goth alternative music scene like there?
I really didn't know any gothic scene, so I was listening to mostly rock music and pop music, and all the bands that were playing in the city and around, the city in the south of Italy were mostly cover bands. So I never knew any independent music scene or as Gothic, music scene. So I never knew that. And one of the reasons why I never felt that I could really record and perform and make it in Italy. There is a different music scene in the north, but it's quite expensive to live in the north of Italy, and also it's quite cold. I never considered moving up on the north, and also they say that people are not very friendly up there, which I mean it depends, it depends. I don't think that is always true. But yeah, there is not much independent music scene in Italy, so I never felt understood. And actually, I thought that it was because of the place. But now that I am here, I think that I'm not understood because I am just not like other people. I always felt like I really don't belong to this world. I really feel more connected, to other planets. If I want to write something, I really don't. I don't write something because I hear it, from someone else, or even if I grew up with rock music, metal music, and I have studied classical music and opera singing. I never written something like that. It's everything, that I write. It comes from somewhere else. It doesn't come from anything, that I've heard. So yeah, I never felt quite understood, in my city. I was lucky because I've studied at the conservatory, as you said. So even though it was not very, refreshing and inspiring because everyone was playing the same thing and I was required, to sing exactly how the teacher want me to sing. I didn't have freedom. That freedom is what I found, writing my own songs, building basically my career as an independent artist. So I never found that Italy offered many opportunities for independent artists, unless of course you know someone, in the music industry. But I don't come from a family of artists, so I mean, I don't come from a family of musicians.
In your song Wasting My Time, some of the lyrics seem to be scathing comments about your family. Did they support your musical aspirations when you were younger?
When I wrote that song, and when I actually write all the songs, I don't write things, like on purpose, for, to hurt, others people's feelings, let's just say that. I just write what I write. And it is true that I felt disappointed and betrayed, by my family, because the people who you think, they are supposed to support you and supposed to, I just say, care about, whatever you are doing with your life, they didn't, they never supported me. The only person that has supported me and it was always there was my mother, and also my auntie was always supporting me, and she was actually encouraging me to leave Italy. And even though she said, I will feel lonely and I will miss you, but I want you to do this. You have to do it for yourself. These two persons were supporting me, but they are not here anymore. So they both passed away. And so I found myself in a situation where basically I had to motivate me, and I really didn't have any support, during these years. And even before moving to the UK. And so yeah, that song, I think that it reflects, my feelings, and yeah, they never supported me, and they never showed any interest really in anything, that I have achieved. And And I think that it's really sad, I think that we have a real problem in the society in general, because I think that it's not just me. And there are so many other artists who are not supported, by family or by friends or by the community. And I think that's really, really important, especially for an independent artist, to have this support. Because yes, I want to do it, and I want to motivate myself, but at the same time, having a support system, it really makes a huge difference for an artist, I think. And I was lucky enough to find a mentor when I arrived here, and so this person has really helped me to see basically all the skills that I have, and even to find again, the strength and the self-confidence that unfortunately years after years was basically destroyed, by all of these people, all of these relatives in my family that were constantly judging me and criticizing me, and saying that I was never good enough, basically. But at the same time, they weren't providing any help or any advice. So yeah, it was really, I think, a very toxic environment, a very toxic situation. But I am finally, out of it, and if you read the lyrics of the song, I think you know what I'm talking about. I feel better staying by myself and being, without all of these people. And I think, even if you have the same blood, even if you share, the same blood, and even if, they are blood relatives, it doesn't mean that we have to be family. That's not my family. And I think that a family is a group of people that believe in you, support you, cheer you up, and no matter what, no matter if you decide, that you want to, I don't know, have a career in the music industry as I did, or become a lawyer, it doesn't really matter. They should support you. And yeah, so that's what, my song is about. It speaks about independence, self-confidence, freedom, letting go of all of these negativity.
Family isn't always about blood. It's about the people that care for you, the ones that you should care about. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, next, living in the south of Italy, a lot of the bands were just cover bands. But who were your musical inspirations and what drew you to them?
Well, I was listening to a lot of rock bands from the 60s, from the 70s. And then later I started listening to music from the 80s. So I really didn't have like a favorite, band, but I used to listen to Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple, and Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and what else? Other bands, Nirvana. I loved Nirvana, and I still love them. The strange thing, the weird thing, is that I always been writing dark lyrics, even when I wasn't listening to, let's just say gothic music. I don't even listen to gothic music, by the way. But even when I wasn't really into the 80s music, I was writing a lot of dark lyrics, and yeah, all of with the, same themes, death, rebirth, and loss, and yeah, romantic relationships that, usually end up very badly. All of these themes were already there. And then after that, I started to listen to music from the 80s, Depeche Mode, which is one of my favorite bands, I would say, yeah. Gary Newman, and recently Lana Del Rey. But I also listen to pop music. I used to listen to Britney Spears, and yeah, I listen to all the music that I think I connect with, especially with the lyrics, you know. If
Yes.
I think that the lyrics resonate with me, and if the also the melody and just the vibe of the song resonates with me, it doesn't really matter, if it's pop, rock, goth, or R&B. I don't think I listen to R&B, but it's just an example.
Having eclectic taste is good, can add to depth of music, definitely. You choose to come to England, and how did you end up in Leeds?
When I was 17, and I used to live in Naples at the time, and because I was born in Milan anyway, but I always been living in Naples. And I remember that, as I said, I wasn't feeling, never felt like understood. Especially the young people didn't have any aspirations, didn't have any dreams. They didn't have any goals, okay? And everyone was drinking. Everyone was just basically thinking of having fun, which I think, most of the young people do. But in that situation, I really had a bad influence. And then my mother died. And then I felt like, why should I stay here? There is nothing here for me. There is no music scene. I don't really have friends who understand me. There was a really good music scene in London. Everyone goes there, and it's a really good city where you can prove your skills, meet people, find musicians. There is a great music scene. And also, I really liked, the city. I really liked the fact there were so many cemeteries. It was kind of spooky and mystical. Just felt that was the right city. And that's why I decided just to move there. I didn't know anyone. I didn't have any contacts or friends or no one. I just knew that I needed to go there. Because I think that if you don't change things, things are not going to change. Sometimes you have to take a risk. And so I've done that. And I think it was a good decision. And I didn't just produce, all the songs that I have, produced, but I also had the opportunity to meet interesting people. And I had a very, very painful experience. I had a very painful relationship. I don't regret that. So I think I would do exactly the same thing because if I hadn't had that experience, I wouldn't have written that song and I wouldn't have, filmed and directed that type of video. So I think I made the right choice, moving at that time, moving to London. I think now the things have changed after COVID.
How did you end up in Leeds after being in London then?
Okay. So I ended up in Leeds because in London things started not working well anymore. Actually, I felt like there was a curse on me. Someone cursed me there because in 1 year, like the things that had happened, they were just too bad. Every house, every apartment where I moved, there was a problem. Every time there was a different problem. It was like a pattern. And also I met a guy, and then I met him in Leeds as well. And so I moved here, but then things didn't really go, well. And so that was one of the reasons why I moved to Leeds. And also because I knew that there was a more, Gothic scene here. Whereas in London, I found that, well, there were a lot of opportunities, to perform, but I really couldn't find, an audience. It was really hard for me to find an audience there. When things are not working anymore, perhaps the best thing to do is just to move to another place if that place is not inspiring you. I followed my intuition.
You're multi-talented and seem to be a one-woman record production company, writing your own songs, singing, recording, video producing, and many more activities that must leave you with little time to do anything else. What do you enjoy most, and which elements of the whole record music making thing do you dread the most?
I really love songwriting. I love writing lyrics and I love composing music. That's the thing, that really keeps me alive and is like a burning fire inside me, and I have an idea or an inspiration. Even if it's at 4 a.m. in the morning, I need to write it down. And I think that's the most beautiful thing about making music. It's actually making music, the creation itself, the thing that I enjoy the most, creating the art, creating something that you can share. I do like composing, so I like, to arrange songs and write different lines. I write for different instruments. And so I really like the composition, and I like also recording. I absolutely love, to experiment with all the equipment, that I have, and see what works best, especially when it comes to recording vocals. Sometimes it can be frustrating because you have to do several attempts. So once you have understood, what works, for instance, let's just say that I am recording vocals and I see that, certain parts of the songs require a certain type of compression and a certain type of limiting, on the vocals. Then I do first that part, and then for other parts that require a different type of effects or different type of compression, then I have to adjust, the settings and then do the other parts. It's a bit frustrating when you have to try different times and different things. Frustrating when you want to meet a deadline. For me, it's difficult to understand how things work, in a second, especially with new type of equipment, where you have something new. You really have to study it. You have to try different things. So there is promotion, the marketing, emailing, audience and fans, all the social media management, booking gigs, managing basically the whole, the whole thing, the whole music, the whole business. I don't like it because it takes a lot of time. So when I, for example, when I want to record a song and I want to write or I want to record the song, I am already tired, after doing all of this work. So I don't really enjoy, to do all of these other things, all of the time that I could invest producing more music, or perhaps just, taking a break and rest. So that's what actually I don't like, all the, marketing and social media management, all of these things. Even though I am able to do it, I don't really enjoy it. I think that if I had to, hire someone to do all of these things, I would probably need 7 or 8 persons to do all of this. And of course, I'm not, I don't have any budget, to pay all of these people. Regarding the makeup and the style, I like to choose my dresses. I like to choose the type of makeup. But when it comes to actually putting things together, so to do the hair, so the hairstyle and makeup and ordering dresses, all of these things, so acting like, makeup artist and, how are they called? The costume designer? I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really hate that because I have to do all of these things. I am already tired when it comes, to performing. So yeah, something that, I really would like to have. I really would like to have a makeup artist. I would like to have someone, that can do the hairstyle for me. Always, telling those people, I want this thing like this and like that because I know what I want. I just don't want to do it, Take this burden out of my shoulder, please. I think that when you are an independent artist and there are so many things that you have to do, there is actually, a good side, which is, the fact that you are free and you can actually manage yourself